Shut up and sit down.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 3 of the 3POA podcast. It's great to see everyone in the chat. Glad you're all here to join us. We're talking the summer of 89, baby. Batman, Michael Keaton, Tim Burton, Jack Nicholson, Kim Basinger. Of course, I am joined by my co-host and the guy behind Analog Toys, Mr. Desert Rat, Tony Roberts.
Hello, everyone. So excited to be here to talk about the summer of 89, the summer that we all remember as the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade summer.
What are you doing? What is this?
I thought the summer of 89 was the Last Crusade phenomenon.
Batman, dude. We're talking 89 Michael Keaton.
I knew I shouldn't have let you run this show. I thought this was about Indiana Jones.
Oh, that's how we're going to do it? Okay. All right. Well.
Oh, no. Sorry. I got the memo. Here we go.
Oh, hey. Now we're talking. He's
Let's
getting
get
undressed
Batman
for us.
mode.
Take it. Oh, Desert Rat. I barely know you.
Oh! We're here to talk about Batman.
2 of my all-time favorite movies. Batman, Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade.
Yeah.
It was an awesome summer. I was 8 years old.
Yeah,
and you were
12.
Ah, okay.
Well, actually, Batman came out just before I turned 12. Just before. So.
Well, really, we were both at the perfect age for 89 Batman and everything that went down that summer. First, I got to get to these super chats. Friend of the show, Sal Vader. Dude, thank you for the super chat. That's very nice of you. He says, well, I don't have to worry about FOMO with the Rancor anymore. My windshield and a rock from the highway made that decision for me. So here's some of that sweet, sweet Rancor money from you. Thanks, Sal.
Thank you very much, Sal.
You're awesome. We got someone else here that decided to show up, I guess, finally. But you know him, you love him, the man behind Action Force, Mr. Bobby Vallow. What's up, Bobby?
What's up, gang? Sorry I'm late. Had to put the kids to bed.
I like your little Batman display there. Very nice.
You like that? I was, because wife she has a volleyball league, so I have to do the kids, and then I have to do the streams from the house instead of from the office. So I was like, oh man, I had like this whole idea, this whole Batman display setup that I was going to do for the show tonight, and because she had volleyball, it kind of screwed that up. So I had to bring a few things here with me.
You did better than me. I didn't grab any of my Batman stuff, but there's a lot behind me. So
I thought about it, and I was like, man, I totally dropped the ball on this. I could have found like a latex 89 Batman mask to wear for the stream tonight. So part of me wishes we were postponing so I had time to like go and buy that mask to wear tonight.
You're pretty familiar with latex masks, are you, Bobby?
Yeah, who isn't?
Oh,
After 90 minutes on a stream, you're going to have a sweaty beard.
Yeah.
Right? Tell me about it. That's why no Batmen have beards. I mean, Affleck had some scruff, but other than that, no one has a beard.
Yeah.
Another very generous super chat from Matt Movie 611. Thank you very much. He said Batman 89 is my favorite Batman movie, as it should be. And it will be hard for another one to top it for me. Personally, I'm right there with you. And I totally admit that a lot of that's probably the nostalgia from my childhood. But I still think the movie holds up really well in 2021.
Yeah.
It has its moments. I've after the last 3 years, I try to watch it once a year. But I found that the last couple of times I watched it, there were things where I'm like, It's weird because I will watch Ninja Turtles. Man, everything about that movie holds up. But then I watch 89 Batman and I'm like, could have been a little better, you know?
I've never seen.
I know they were separated by 2 years, but you never saw the 91 or 90 Turtles movie?
No, I'm just that little bit older than you guys where...
How are you?
I was trying to learn how to surf and chase girls and
12 years old.
No. I was 14 by the time Turtles came out. I was 12 when Batman came out.
All I hear is Tony judging you and Ryan. That's all I hear.
Well, nothing new there, Bobby. Let's get to a few more soupy chats. Super chats.
Soupy chats. Yeah, let's have a soupy chat tonight.
I think my wife poured this one a little bit stronger than usual. Matt Cropsey, thank you very much. He says, love the show. Thank you. Michael Keaton will always be my Batman. Still have my original Toy Biz Batwing. I am very jealous of that. I love that Batwing.
The one that shot the darts out of the cannons?
Yeah, and we're going to get into the toys. And then Jim Largo, thank you very much for the super chat. He says, you young whippersnappers, I spent the summer of 89 at Fort Jackson, SC going through boot camp. Love you guys. Thanks, Jim.
Well.
And, another one from Lio Convoy Reviews. Thank you very much, man. He says, as someone that's worn a Batman cowl for a cosplay, you don't want to wear the 89 one for an hour. Trust me.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You end up kind of damp, I'm sure.
That's coming from someone who wears a lion mask for the entire duration of a video. Yeah. So if he says it's not pleasant, I'm taking him at his word because he is a man of his word. Yeah. Thank you, Thomas.
It's a very cute lion mask, right? Very adorable and looks very not at all. And then Jeff McElway, thank you very much. He says third act of 89 could have been better.
See, Jeff, I agree with you, and I think that's where I lose it. Hold on,
I'm just going to ban him from the chat. No, I'm kidding. All opinions are welcome here. Well, for the most part. So speaking of Batman 89, it was, at the time, according to marketing research, not as popular as The Incredible Hulk. At the time, The Incredible Hulk was, they were making the made-for-TV movies in that era. The Bill Bixby.
Yep.
But this movie went on to gross $253.4 million at the box office. And I know we got movies nowadays that are at $1-2 billion, $2 billion plus. But in those times, that was almost unheard of. It wasn't the biggest movie of all time, but it was the first film to make $100 million in its first 10 days.
I mean, it's also relative. The prices of movie tickets back then were what? $4, if that?
Yeah.
You know?
Like 5, 6, I think, something like that. Yeah. Not only that, the merchandise. If you were there in the summer '89, the merchandise was everywhere.
Yeah.
The merchandise doubled the box office at $500 million. Tie-in products, toys, fast food. Yeah. Wow. Fast food items, beach towels. They made everything. Everything had a Batman logo on it.
Dude, Batman was everywhere, man. Night lights. You know, it's like trading cards. Like Batman was everywhere.
Trading. Yep, I love the trading cards. I wish I still had them.
They couldn't put Batman on enough stuff.
Yeah. Yep. In fact, the merchandise was so popular, it became a pretty big bootlegging industry. U.S. Marshals conducted raids all over the country, seizing more than 40,000 counterfeit Batman shirts and other bogus items.
Wow.
Yeah. So, the mafia liked Batman, apparently. But it...
Come on, Falcone. He's going to make some money somehow.
Right, yeah. Couple more super chats, and then we'll talk about our own kind of personal experiences, that summer watching that movie. John Papa Sergio, thank you very much. He says, I remember seeing Batman 89 in theaters, buying the comic book adaptation there, which I still have, and the pages still smell like oil. Like the popcorn oil. Right on. Thank you very much.
I hope it's popcorn oil.
Yeah. Tony Nasser, thank you. He says, I do love Michael Keaton Batman, but for me, West is best. That's funny because Adam West, to me, like in the 80s, I was obviously really young. I didn't get the joke. I just thought, oh, this is Batman. This is cool, right? Like it wasn't until later when I grew up, I'm like, man, this is really corny, but also there's a lot of inside jokes in this show. Like that only adults would get, right?
It's like, dude, it's like, you know what else is like that? Just to go off topic for a second. I tried to get my son into watching Rugrats. Dude, tons of adult jokes in Rugrats. And I'm like, this was a Nickelodeon kids cartoon. A lot of like deep-seated adult jokes in that show.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the whole Keaton West thing is really generational.
Mm-hmm.
You talk to guys, only just a tiny bit older than me. I'm probably like right in the middle where as a young kid, I was watching Adam West reruns on TV. And then, at the age of 12, just before I became a teenager, the phenomenon of the Keaton Batman happened. So, guys who, they've only got to be a year or two older than me for Adam West to be their Batman. But yeah.
Tony, were you like really plugged into like the nerd zine, the nerd culture at the time? Like, were you picking up what was that sci-fi magazine? It was really popular. I forget, but were you plugged in at all to that stuff?
I was, but only kind of certain aspects of it. Like I was a real fan of cinema. Like the magazine that I actually used to buy around that time was Fangoria, which was, a lot about special effects and movie makeup and, lots of issues about Freddy Krueger and things like that and aliens. I was, but I was not probably really, I wasn't a huge comic book reader, like outside of Action Force at the time. I had never really read that many superhero comics, so all I really knew of Batman was the Adam West Batman. And then I saw this Batman, and I was like, oh, this is different. This is cool.
Yeah. Do you remember there being a lot of... and by the way, Bobby Collins, thank you. Yeah, Starlog. That's the one I was thinking of. I think it was Starlog where there was an article about Michael Keaton being cast as Batman. And Michael Keaton at the time was a comedic actor, right?
Yeah.
He was really known for Mr. Mom and Night Shift. And so it was a very odd casting choice, especially because he wasn't really built. He was kind of a small, thin guy.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of like Adam West, but without the pot belly. But do you remember any of that? You remember any of the drama around or the fan outrage, pre-internet fan outrage around Michael Keaton?
No, like I certainly know of it now, but I wasn't obviously that plugged into it to know that there was all this fan outrage. But that's really where it first started. And then you sort of fast forward to today, and people think that who's the actress who plays Wonder Woman. You know, some people think she hasn't got big enough breasts, and no one wanted Heath Ledger to be the Joker. But you know, you got to give it to the West Australian guy. I played in a sports tournament. Played the same sports tournament as Heath Ledger, but he's a couple of years younger, so I never actually played against him. But that's my claim to fame. Didn't know who the hell he was there back then, but
he was definitely better than that skinny weird dude from the Zack Snyder movies. That's for sure. Heath Ledger was the best Joker.
Yeah,
Bobby.
I just
We're no longer
visibly saw your expression change then, Bobby.
His eyes just got wide and his face turned red. He was like,
How dare you? How dare you?
But back to Starlog, I think it was in around 1981, and I don't know this firsthand because I was born in 1981. But I believe there was an article. This movie took about 10 years of development until it came out. And one of the people they initially considered to play Batman was Bill Murray.
Whoa.
I mean, you talk about a weird choice. I mean, in retrospect, Michael Keaton, that's like genius. You know, he was a great Batman. But Bill Murray?
That's weird.
Weird choice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but now I kind of want to see that movie.
Right? Yeah, you have the Nick Cage Superman show up and him and...
Has Bill Murray ever played a villain? Like, okay, Scrooge, but, you know, like a real...
Yeah.
Kingpin.
I mean, Batman isn't a villain, but he's so dark.
Right.
Like, man, I kind of want to see what Bill Murray would do with that. I reckon he'd be a good Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, perhaps in that time frame.
Yeah,
you know, early 80s.
Look, I see the expression on your face, Bobby. You know what? Bill Murray would have been a better Conan Destroyer than Arnie.
I cannot believe I'm getting it from both sides with you two.
I thought you've always wanted it from both sides of us too.
Okay.
I walked into that one. I'll give you that.
Yeah. That's your own fault. Okay, we got another super chat from Wild Convoy. Thanks, man. He said, Kevin Conroy is the best Batman. I will fight anyone and everyone over this. I won't fight you because I do agree.
But look, at the end of the day, it's all our own opinions. You know, I've got an amount of respect and admiration for almost everyone who's ever portrayed Batman. From Adam West to Keaton, Ben Affleck.
Clooney, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah, you can't respect
I
Clooney.
forgot about that. I said almost everyone. I didn't mind Val Kilmer, you know.
See,
they all brought something to it, you know. Yeah, clearly some are better than others, but
my thing about the Conroy inclusion is I'm not saying he's not great and that he didn't do justice to Batman. Like, Batman the Animated Series is just as big a part of my childhood as 89 Batman. But now, granted, his voice brought a lot to it, but it's hard. You can't just justify a performance based on a voice. But that's just my opinion. Listen, I'm not taking anything away from him or you know, the way people love the Batman that he was. To me, it's like you gotta judge it by a performance. You know, it's like, you know, Christian Bale brought physicality to it. You know, Ben Affleck brought a grit to it. You know, that all adds to playing Batman and Bruce Wayne. You know, so to me, it's like a total package. Like, I got to see all of it. So, you know, I just couldn't get it from an animated series, even though Batman the Animated Series is amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
One of the things they talk about most with Christian Bale is the voice acting.
What are the drugs?
It got worse as it went on. If you go and watch Batman Begins, it's more subtle. Dark Knight.
In Batman Begins, I actually really like it. That scene where I can't remember the guy's name, the corrupt copper, and he goes to get his burrito or whatever, and he
swear to me.
Yeah. that whole, I was like, man, I've never seen this before. You know, someone's actually they haven't just donned a costume; they've changed their voice, and I thought that was really good. But yeah, but by the time of The Dark Knight Rises, it got really bad.
It got really bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like all of a sudden he's just smoking a pack of Marlboro every hour.
Some would argue that voice acting is harder than on-screen acting because you have less to work with. All you have is your voice.
I can see that, but still, it's I get it. I mean, it's a discussion that has two sides for sure.
Yeah, and Kevin Conroy did play a live-action Bruce Wayne. I think it was on Legends of Tomorrow or The Flash or one of those shows. The CW.
You don't count anything on the CW, right?
Fair enough. Another super chat from Mike LeMay. Thank you very much. He said Keaton is the best, but he don't want no scrubs. That's a reference to an Adam Sandler movie, which is very funny. It's what is it? Remote control or something like that. He's the manager at Bed Bath & Beyond. Really funny.
Yeah.
Are we cut? Did I miss a super chat? Is there another one? Oh, yes. There it is. Unboxing art. Thanks, man. He said, I really feel Robert Pattinson will nail his Batman role, and I look forward to it. I mean, it's yet to be seen, but hopefully, I hope that movie's good.
Mm-hmm. I have high hopes for it.
I hope it is. I really, really like that last trailer. But for me, I think his Batman's going to be good. I don't think I'm going to like his Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I definitely feel the same way.
And you've got to be able to play two characters to get it right,
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't. When I picture Bruce Wayne, I don't picture long emo hair, like Spider-Man 3 and Peter Parker.
Yeah, that got me.
Exactly.
Because there's nothing tactical about long hair. I mean, even though he wears a cowl, it just doesn't fit the character to me.
Yeah.
And Lyle Convoy has to go, but he sent another super chat. Thanks, man. He said, got to go after this, but a story for another time. I once scared a dude into complete sobriety using a Batman costume. I want to hear that. I want to hear that story.
Can't leave us
I'd like you to make a video about that and put it up on your channel.
100%. Would love that. But yeah, so we're here to talk about the summer of '89 and all the hype and the Bat fever in that time. Tony, give us the rundown. What was your summer like? What do you remember? What was your experience?
It was a really pivotal moment in my life because I had only moved to Australia late in 1988. And of course, when you guys have winter, it's our summer. So I come to Australia in late 1988. I had my first Christmas in the middle of a hot summer, like in the swimming pool all day. And so when Batman hit it was early June, I think, or mid-June, 89. When it hit, it was winter here, but having come from England, Australian winters are not the same, But for me, it was just seeing the merch absolutely everywhere. And I'd made friends with a couple of guys at my new, it was my last year of primary school, so my new primary school. And up until that point, I think I'd only ever been to see a movie in the cinema once in my whole life. Because going to the movies in England was very expensive. And my parents had home video for a long time. So that's how we consumed our movies, through home video rentals. So when Batman hits, me and my two friends all have a birthday within like a 6-week period. So I'm trying to remember. So one of my friends was Danny Russell, and the other friend was Gianni or Giovanni. I can't remember. He was an Italian kid. So anyway, it was one of their birthdays first, and the parents took us to see Batman in the cinema. And for me, only having been once, and that time I did go to the cinema was to see Crocodile Dundee 2. So I'm seeing this awesome movie in the cinema for the first time. Then a few weeks later, my parents take all of us to the movies again for my birthday. And they're, what do you want to go and see? And we're like, we want to see Batman. And they're like, but you've already seen it. We're like, we don't care about anything else. Ghostbusters 2, none of that. We want to go and see Batman again. So we went for my birthday. And then a few weeks later, we go for Danny's birthday. So I've gone from only being to the movies once to then my next 3 trips in a row were to see Batman. I had one of these T-shirts or similar to this, probably more with the gold logo, that I think I kept wearing for, 2 to 3 years afterwards. It was a T-shirt I'd wear all the time. But I might share my story about the toys a little bit later, because that was a slightly different for me. But the first time in my life I really remember like a marketing phenomenon. It was everywhere, like news agents. It was on all the magazines, corn chip packets. You go into department stores, you've got Batman underwear, Batman T-shirts. There's Batman stuff in all the toy aisles. And I'd kind of never seen anything like it. And it's very distinctive. Like, my first year in Australia, I think, was really marked by Batman. I'm certain I used to collect the trading cards. I bought a lot of the merch, but not the toys, and I'll explain why. Yeah, I had the trading cards. There was a lot of other stuff I had, but I was swept up in it, man. I loved the film. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, that logo you're talking about, right here.
Yeah,
it was so everywhere that summer, man. Mind blowing.
Can you guys remember like seeing the film for the very first time and the opening shot? Did you have any idea what was going on where that camera is actually
zooming through the logo?
Zooming through like a 3D version of the logo.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is this? Tunnels into the Batcave? I can remember thinking that, like sitting there as the credits. One of them, it's a really, really good opening credit sequence.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. With that awesome Danny Elfman music.
Yep.
Still one of the best superhero theme scores to this day, man.
If anything, I may not agree that the movie doesn't really hold up, but man, does that score still hold up to this day as one of the best. It's so good.
I mean, when you're a nerd like us, when you think movie scores, you think something by John Williams, right? Like that something he does is like the first thing that comes to your mind. Star Wars, Indy, Jaws, something like that. But Danny Elfman's Batman is like the one standout of any other composer of those times. Because that theme, I mean, they even got it in the animated series. Somehow they were able to use it in the animated series. And so that, when that show came out, it was like, oh, it's like the same Batman, but animated.
Did you just call me a nerd?
Yes. Nerd.
My wife calls me a nerd.
Yeah. Oh, Bobby, how about you? What was your experience like with Batman 89 in 89?
It was big for me, and I've said it on multiple shows before. I said it when Sal was over filming the Valiverse office tour. It's like, to me, like, Batman 89 was probably the most influential thing on my childhood for an absurd amount of reasons. Like, it gave me so many good memories, like, just growing up. It was a tough time. I was 7 years old, so I just turned 7 that June. But like, my parents had gotten divorced like not too long before that, so it was tough. Like, me and my brothers kind of like going back and forth between my mom and my dad's house. But like, as a young kid, it wasn't like that detrimental to me. I just remember things like, my mom and my dad lived like an hour away from each other. So when we would go to like my dad's house, he'd like pick us up after school on like a Friday, and we'd drive down and we'd stop at like this convenience store, and he would always buy me a pack of Batman cards. So to me, it's like, these cards alone like have so many memories for me. And it's like, my dad in his house has packs of these Batman cards that I gave to him not that long ago, because I told him how much these cards meant to me, and just everything Batman. I can remember going to see the movie, and then I don't know what place we went out to eat afterwards. It was probably like a Fridays or an Applebee's, something like that. But like I had a placemat with crayons, and I flipped it over, and I drew Batman and the Joker. My dad claims he still may have that drawing. That was the first time I ever remember drawing anything. And it's like from then on, it was like all I wanted to do was draw. And it's like that led me to, going to art school and drawing comics and then going to toy design. But then like, getting this figure, like this was like finding this figure in KB was huge for me. One of my greatest figures and just so impactful. It was Batman everything for me. My mom had sewn me. I don't know if you guys can remember this, but like they had like these stores. I think they were called Rag Shop. It was like where they sold like all sorts of like fabrics and things like that. But they had like these packets that had like plans for making costumes, and you pull out the tracing paper and you put it on the fabric. Well, my mom got a Batman one, and she made me a Batman costume. And I would wear that, like I'd get home from school and I'd put that Batman costume on. There were some days where I wore the Batman costume under my school clothes. I wore that thing like every day. I legitimately it was Batman constantly. So that movie, man, it was, and we didn't have a lot of money growing up. So I'm trying to think, like, we probably only saw that movie once in the theater. So for only to have seen it maybe once, maybe twice. But like we were saying, Batman was everywhere. So even if you didn't see the movie, or it's like I saw the movie once, but remembered every scene, I was able to get the cards and like relive all the scenes because they have them all in the cards, and be able to get, my Batmobile and the figures, and then just kind of like replay that movie over and over again, even though I only saw it once. So, I kind of like got off on a tangent on how great it was, but like to answer your question, like it was everything. It was everything that for me as a kid. It led to my dad getting me into comics. It got me into like toys. Like this DC Toy Biz line came out, and from there it's like I wanted the Flash figure because the Flash show had just come on. The WB at the time.
John Wesley Shipp.
John Wesley Shipp. Yeah, it was awesome. I love that show. Mark Hamill was in as the Trickster. But, I wanted that whole line. I got the Toy Biz Batcave, and, I had the Batmobile and, the Batwing with the darts. And it's like that, like, it was only Batman for me. Like, it wasn't Spider-Man. It wasn't X-Men. It wasn't Superman. It was just Batman. So that's like, that movie, man, that movie was everything for me.
Yeah. Stop the press. We've got a super chat from Noah's Game Over TV.
Whoa!
Thank you very much, Noah. Hopefully everyone caught the stream earlier today on the Valorverse channel.
Yeah.
Bobby did an awesome thing where he invited Noah, an 11-year-old boy who was beaten cancer and COVID, been through a heart transplant. The kid's a fighter and a hero. But Bobby did a stream earlier on his channel where they raised money for his medical fund, Team Noah. And it was awesome. So props to you, Bobby, and Noah. Like I said, you are a hero. But he says, "What's up, guys? Thanks for a great day. I'm Batman."
Yeah, it was an awesome day with Noah. Sorry for the technical difficulties early in the show. Now I know just even if I'm hardwired in to reset the Wi-Fi and it'll fix that glitch. But yeah, it was a great stream. Hanging out with Noah was awesome. So thank you to everyone who donated super chats to that the stream today. We raised a ton of money for them, which is awesome. So
yeah,
he's a good dude. His parents are great. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah. And it was cool to see him be so excited over Action Force figures and playing with them and talking about them. Man, heartwarming.
I know, because it's like we know us as like nerds, we know we love it, but like to see like a new generation to be into something that's made for adult collectors was awesome. Like I got to like feel like a kid watching him kind of play with this stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. Good job, Noah.
We've also got a super chat here from the father-in-law of Valorverse.
Oh, what's up, Barry?
Hey, Barry.
Thank you, man. He said, Bobby, Mason says goodnight, and he wanted to tell you he has his Batman underwear on.
So Barry is my father-in-law. Mason is my son, and he is staying at Grammy and Papa's house tonight. He kind of stays there sometimes on Fridays and Saturdays. That's awesome, bud, that you're wearing your Batman underwear. Make sure you get to bed early. Don't let Grammy and Papa let you stay up and watch this whole stream.
Right. Do you mean he hasn't got Action Force underwear? Or
Well, some ladies have some Action Force underwear.
Yes.
I know your wife and my wife do, but
yeah,
and me,
and you. Well, Ryan does, yeah.
I don't need that picture in my head, Brian. Just before we get on to Ryan's thoughts about 89, we've been going for 30 minutes. I'm going to do a couple of giveaways tonight, all right? And we're going to stagger it throughout the stream. So whoever the lucky winner of these 3 different items is, I'll post these at my expense anywhere in the world. So the first we're going to give away is an Imperial 80 ACT driver from the Star Wars Black Series. And then a little bit later on, we're going to give away a Cobra infantry figure from G.I. Joe Classifieds. And then at the end of the show, I'm going to give away this minty, vintage 1989 Ertl Batmobile. That one there that Bobby's got.
This is mine from when I was a kid. This is I still have it.
Yep.
I had that thing. I wonder, it might still be at my mom's house. I should go have her dig through the attic. But so what we're going to do to give, which one are you giving away? The AT.
We're going to do this one first. The AT ACT driver.
What we're going to do is type nothing in the chat yet, but I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 87, and there's a reason that I chose that number.
I'm going to pick the number, Ryan. I'm going to put it in the private chat.
Yep. Okay. Put it in the private chat.
The number is in the private chat now.
So wait until you see start in the chat from Analog Toys, and I got that pulled up, Tony, ready to go.
Yep.
When you see start in the chat, enter your number 1 through 87. The first person that gets the number right will win that Star Wars Black Series figure. So I'm putting it in the chat.
Okay, let's go. Between 1 and 87. Come on.
Okay. I don't see it yet.
I don't see it yet. It's going fast, though. Holy.
Going fast. It's going to explode here.
Let me exit full screen so I can see the chat. Going crazy.
Okay. Oh, someone's really close. Someone's
really close.
Yeah.
Boom.
Map Room there Gaming. It is. Map Room Gaming with the 26. Congrats, man. So, Tony, how should Map Room Gaming contact you?
Send me an email. My email address is in the description of the video. So, was it Map Room Gaming? Yep. Flick me an email. It's Tortured Genius Films. Do you like that name? Tortured Genius Films. That was the name of my when I was making documentaries in Iraq. My friends used to call me the Tortured Genius. So flick me an email at torturedgeniusfilms@gmail.com. Figure out your shipping address, and this is all yours, man. Congratulations.
Congrats. Okay, so I guess we're going to move on back to Batman 89.
Yeah, well, I want to hear your thought. Yeah. Like, what was your summer experience, Ryan?
My first of all, in the 80s, for me, DC and Star Wars were like king. I mean, Super Friends, the Adam West Batman, those were my shows. So, and I remember this pretty distinctly. We were visiting my grandmother, and she had her TV on. There was a show, it might still be on. It ran for years. It was like a pop culture entertainment show called Entertainment Tonight. You guys remember that?
Mm-hmm, I remember it.
I think it was Mary Hart and the dude that sometimes hosted Jeopardy, like the daytime Jeopardy. But we were there, and she had the TV on. That was on her TV, Entertainment Tonight. And I think it was Mary Hart. She said, next up we have the trailer for Tim Burton's new movie, Batman. And I was like, wait, what? Batman movie? And they played the trailer for Batman. And it was mind-blowing. It was the first time that I had ever seen a Batman in all black. Up until that point, for me, Batman was always gray and blue.
Yeah.
Right? And Batman, to me, wasn't dark. I had never read Frank Miller's comics. You know, all I knew was Super Friends and Adam West. So I saw this black Batman, all black. And it was, for its day, it's kind of, I'd say it's a little campy by today's standards. But for the time, for me as a 8-year-old, it was like, oh, this is crazy, man. This is like almost scary, right? And then I was really let down because at the end of the trailer, Mary Hart said it was PG-13. Oh. And in the Laser Pants household, for 8-year-old Laser Pants, my dad would have to watch the PG-13 movie first by himself to see if it was okay for the kids to watch. That seems crazy to me nowadays because like all my kid watches is PG-13 movies like Marvel, you know, and all the DC stuff. But he went and saw it, and I remember he came home that summer, and he was like, they turned Batman into a psychopathic killer. He has guns on the Batmobile. And I was like, cool, but can I see it? And him and my mom said, yeah. And they took us. And we went to a theater. It was a massive, at the time, it was like the best theater in the area. It had the biggest screen in like Western Washington. It had a bowling alley. It had like this awesome Mexican restaurant, which probably wasn't that awesome. But yeah, they took us to see it, and it blew me away. That when you first see Batman in that opening scene, and those two crooks are talking, and Batman lands behind him on the rooftop, and you see his wings out, right? Like the full spread. It was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Totally mind-blowing. Merchandise was everywhere. I don't remember anyone not liking it. Like, I think it was pretty much universally loved. Even my mom liked it, you know. It totally not her type of movie, but she was into it. I'm trying to think. I might have had the Batman toy before the movie came out. I know we bought it at Kmart. We were on a trip to Kmart, and he had that retractable belt. And all I had up until that point was the superpowers, where you like squeeze his legs and he does the punching thing.
Yeah.
But that Batman figure was it. He had the retractable belt. It was like a zip line, you know, grapple hook. Absolutely loved it. Up until that point, really, I was mostly into Superman because of Christopher Reeve. But the summer of '89, it was like a switch. And Batman was it for me, man. It like Bobby said, it kind of took over my life. I was buying the trading cards when I could. Even my sisters were into it. They were buying the trading cards. I had a Batman '89 beach towel, all the toys. We were collecting the Taco Bell cups. I don't know if you guys remember those, but you go to Taco Bell. We'd go to Taco Bell just to get the cups.
Man. We didn't have Taco Bell in Australia.
Oh, okay. The Taco Bell cups were a really big deal, and I wish we would have known not to put them in the dishwasher, because you put them in the dishwasher a couple times, and all that printed ink just comes right off, and so pretty soon they were just white cups. But yeah, it was everywhere. You know, like every kid at school that they would show up in a Batman T-shirt. You know, when school was back in, it's hard to put into words, but I guess for guys our age, that was probably like our summer of Star Wars, because I wasn't around in '77, and Tony, even you're probably too young.
I was born in '77, so
you were born in '77, so
yeah,
that's the first time I ever remember a movie event like that, like a true blockbuster.
Yeah, me too. Even being a few years older than you guys, that's that's the first real. Very quickly followed though by Terminator 2. That was another big, summer blockbuster phenomenon for me, and probably hit at the right time for me because I was in early teens as well. But I think it'd be really cool, man, if your dad sits down with you one day, Ryan, and has this real honest, like, confessional conversation where he says, I went to see that Batman film and I walked out of it and I was talking to your mother and they're like, should we let him see it? And they're like, we probably shouldn't, but we want to go again. So we'll let him.
I was going to make a comment about how it's hilarious that Papa Laserpants got to get his own movie nights.
Yeah.
Just so that he could know if it was okay for you guys. Like,
that's probably totally what, it's so funny.
I need to check this one out.
The first R-rated movie I saw was I woke up at night one time, right? And I kind of snuck out to the living room. My dad's sitting there in his easy chair. And I'm like, he doesn't know I'm there. I'm being real quiet. I peek out behind his easy chair. And what had he rented? What's on the TV? Rambo 3. And I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Was that rated?
So I don't know why he was so paranoid about, movies and I don't know. Maybe it was part
Rambo
of that whole...
3 rated R?
Oh, yeah. They all are.
I went to see that at the drive-in when I was 12.
Well, you can see rated R movies in the States as a kid, but some theaters enforce it. They're like, you have to be with your parents or someone over 18 or whatever. But it was. You guys have a totally different rating system in Australia, don't you?
Yeah. So we have PG-13. We have M for mature audience, which is 15, and then we have 18 plus, which is R rated.
Yeah, I think also PG-13 in '89 was still pretty new. The first PG-13 movie was Temple of Doom, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They made.
I don't think they brought in PG-13 to Australia till much, much later. It was literally PG and then 15 and then 18.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Temple of Doom, in that time it went from PG to R, but they didn't want to make Temple of Doom R.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't that crazy. So I think PG-13 was made for Temple of Doom. Correct me if I'm wrong if you're in the chat.
Yeah, no, you're right on that. I mean, PG-13 back then those were heavy movies, because you gotta remember, Disney movies were G. We don't have G anymore. Disney movies and Pixar movies are PG now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like how everything kind of got compressed now, where it was more wide open. You had a wider range of movie ratings, and I remember PG-13 they were heavy movies. And then it you can get away with a lot in a PG-13 movie, and and then an R was your horror movies and Lethal Weapon, that kind of.
I do need to get to a super chat before this chat jumps. Tree Theodore, thank you. He says, besides admiring Nicholson's performance, I very much appreciated Gotham's set with architecture looming over the characters. Nice work, all three of you. Hey, thanks, man. And thanks. That's, what? That movie, it was filmed at Pinewood Studios in the UK. Those were all practical sets for the most part. There was some matte paintings used, but it was an awesome look for Gotham. A very gothic look.
They treated Gotham like a character almost.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whereas I don't think Gotham really was as impactful in more modern movies. It's like Dark Knight Rises, it was very Gotham heavy because of everything that Bane did and stuff like that. But I still don't think that Gotham had this feel to it that was memorable. In those Christopher Nolan movies, they just used Chicago and New York. And then in Batman versus Superman and Justice League, man, I can't even remember, them using it. It was probably all CGI anyway. But it wasn't recognizable. Whereas Batman Returns, they were characters. That city had life to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the Scott Snyder stuff was filmed in Australia. Is that right, Tony?
The what?
Or maybe
the Zack Snyder stuff?
The Man of Steel and...
I have no interest in that idiot. Bobby,
listen,
300 is a terrible film.
Crocodile Dundee 2 was better than the first one.
Is this our first fight?
That.
Oh, man. Okay, we got another super chat here.
I agree with you on that.
Do you really? When the drug dealers go to Australia?
More action in it, the second one. Way more action in it.
This is true.
What? The second one was in New York, right?
When I saw it, I actually wasn't a fan of seeing Linda Kozlowski in a skimpy swimsuit. I was at that age where, girls had germs and...
Yeah.
So Dundee 2 was better for me, yeah. More guns in it.
Yeah.
Joseph Dickerson, thank you for the super chat. He says, I am old enough to remember watching that teaser trailer that had no music and just random scenes. It was still in production, and I lost my mind. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Let's see here. Am I all caught up on super chats? This chat's moving pretty fast. I think we're
real
good.
Quick, Ryan. When you were talking before about, 8-year-old laser pants at that time, parents had to, go and screen a movie before you were allowed to go and see it.
Yeah. We
obviously had a very, very different childhood because at the age of 5, my dad was like, come and watch the Bushido Blade with me. It's an awesome samurai movie. Like this guy gets decapitated in it.
Yeah.
And I was like 5 years old watching that with my dad. So, yeah.
Well, I remember, I was probably 14 and they took me to an R-rated movie. It was Ghost in the Darkness, the one about the lions that were eating people.
That's a really underrated film, that.
It is, yeah.
With Val Kilmer and Michael Douglas, yeah.
So, Batman was in the 80s, 89, of course. So, maybe my parents were, they were caught up in that whole satanic panic thing with Dungeons and Dragons, and maybe they were caught up with that. I don't know. But, yeah, they were very concerned about, it's fine. They were trying to do their best as parents, right?
Hey, I'm not poking fun at them, man. If I had a son like you, I would be very, very protective.
Yeah.
You would have lived a very sheltered life.
Yeah.
But I also would have smashed your Batmobile with a vacuum cleaner as well, just to teach you a lesson.
See, now Tony's going to make me cry. Well, we're going to get into toys in a minute, but I do want to get to this super chat here from Casey Townsend. Thank you very much, man. He said, I felt left out, so I decided to do my own super chat. Y'all are boss. Brad said I need some Action Force undies. Thanks, Casey.
Thank you.
And then we got one from Daniel Dorian. Thank you. He says, got to give Tony credit for that skit at the start. Belter, mate. Belter.
Yeah, you missed that, Bobby.
Yeah, what'd I miss?
Oh, you have to see it. Just go back and watch the first 3 minutes of the stream.
Okay.
Yeah, I put all this effort in. You didn't even show up for it, man. What?
Big time Bobby.
Big time Bobby,
He was playing with all those Action Force figures he opened today.
That's right.
He wishes he was. He was putting his kids to bed.
Right. What is Belter?
It's a belt. It's really good. It was awesome. You could say that was a belter of a joke, or that was a belter of a movie. Really good. Yeah. Very, very British saying though. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And then
you used a lot in sports as well. If you're watching soccer, oh man, that was a belter of a goal. So,
gotcha. Okay, I get it.
Give you some context.
I was a bit knackered when I saw that belter of a goal in the football game. Huh? How am I doing?
Yeah, good.
All right. Mate, forgot that part.
Batman was a belter of a movie.
Yes, it was. It was a belter of a summer, that summer of 89. Jeff McElway, thank you very much. He says, when will we see Action Force contraceptives? Perfect for protection.
I don't think I want that.
Let me tell you, if your wife walks in and you have covered yourself in Action Force figures and you're just stroking them, it's going to work like a contraceptive because she ain't going to touch you.
Wow. I hope my kid's asleep, man, because it just got real adult.
Hopefully,
I put that warning at the start for the foul language because of your performance in the first episode.
Yeah, Bobby, you got to screen these live streams before you let him watch them.
Listen, he probably hears enough around the house, so nothing more.
Thank you, Jeff. Okay, well, I want to get into some more details of this Batman '89 movie. Now, Bobby, what do you notice about this logo?
It's iconic. I mean, it's epic. I mean, it's gold. You know, it's there's what was that?
It's a belter logo.
Belter, yeah. I mean, yeah, it was way different than anything we had seen before. You're used to seeing just yellow and black, and now it's like, wait, like you had this copper gold color. It's like, it made Batman almost seem like premium. Like it had, all those sparkles and flash effects, and it's just, it was cool, man. It was really cool. Is this a loaded question? Am I actually missing? Like, what is it a trick question?
Real quick, let's get to Casey's chat. I'm Noah's mom, just in case y'all didn't pick up on that. Not just a weird rando. Thanks, Casey.
That makes sense now. She mentioned Brad, so
yeah, Brad.
I could have picked up on that, but Casey, I was a little confused. So
okay, I was sitting here the only one that kind of got it, and everyone else is confused.
Yeah.
But Bobby, what if I told you this Batman logo was not in the movie?
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing I was going to touch on is the fact that his logo, it's like on everything, on the toys, on the cereal box, that's the one. Which, let me tell you something. This might be my favorite Batman logo ever. Like, when I saw the emblem on his chest and it had like those extra like points to it at the bottom, man, it looked cool because it looked more like a bat, like a real bat. There was something really awesome about this logo, and you're right. It's weird how they allowed him to use this logo in the movie on Batman, but yet never appeared on shirts, posters, anything else after that. It was very, very odd.
Yeah.
I wish I knew like more of the story
behind it, or is there a reason why?
I don't know. I wish I should have done some more research into like why that was that way. Now in Batman Returns, they went to a more traditional Bat logo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but this logo is the only time it ever appeared was in this shot, which wasn't really used for any promo images, and it was on his cowl. Like that's the only time you ever saw this.
Yep. Yeah, I'm honestly not sure why either. Maybe it was the costume designer's choice or a Tim Burton thing. He's kind of weird. Maybe it was his idea. But I really like it too. I like the extra 2 little wing tips there around that bottom tip. I think it looks cool. And then, of course, here we have Keaton in the cowl. And there you can see the 89 version with those extra 2 wing tips. And then this is the Batman Returns. So they did change it for Batman Returns.
Yeah.
Because it's the more traditional Bat logo. Of course, the T-shirt we were talking about, these were everywhere. I had one. Yeah. It looks like Tony has the knockoff version now.
There was something cool about them adding that extra band, that extra black band around it. Made it cool.
Well, and like you said, that shiny gold.
Yeah.
Just kind of made it pop. It has the little sparkle there on the symbol itself. It was definitely new because the Adam West Batman logo was not like this at all. Neither was the Super Friends. And then merchandising, the Taco Bell cups. I loved these things as a kid. I kind of wish I still had them. I actually pulled this picture from eBay, and I was considering buying them, but I think the guy wanted $35. And they're pretty chintzy cups, even though $35 is not like a ton of money. I mean, for these chintzy cups, I could see the plastic breaking down on them by this point. They're 32 years old now? Yeah, 32. There's the other side of them. And man, to find pictures of the 89 merchandise was kind of hard because everyone's like mixing in Batman Returns merchandise.
Yeah.
And you can tell the difference because his armor's a lot different in the chest. And obviously, if you're looking at that promotional logo, it's a little different. There was the free Batman cup with the free drink refill at Taco Bell. This is a promotional item. And then, of course, the toys. So, Tony, you were 12 at the time. Were you into the toys? Did you ever pick any of these up, the Toy Biz era Batman toys?
So this would have been the last year that I was into toys. The following year, I think I was asking for a surfboard for Christmas. This was the last year I was into toys. Now, my birthday is the 30th of June. Big hint there, guys. You can send me a present. You've got my P.O. box. I remember seeing these in stores. I remember wanting them, but I'm trying to. I've got a feeling that Australia may have gotten the toys a little bit after the movie release. I'm not kind of sure which way around, or maybe they got it at the time of the movie release. But maybe I had to tell my parents a bit more further in advance of my birthday what I wanted. So that year I got the Cobra Mamba, and that was like the last toy my parents ever bought me in childhood. And then I was kind of seeing these in stores. I want this, I want this. And it was kind of, a 6-month wait to Christmas. So I never got them. I remember really wanting them. I remember wanting the Batwing more than I wanted the Batmobile because of that. First of all, I thought it was a cooler looking toy, but also that scene in the film where, he flies the Batwing up over the moon. That's just such an iconic little moment. And then comes down and tries to lay waste to the Joker with some miniguns or Gatling guns, whatever they are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I never had them, but I was very, very aware of them. I've always wanted to collect this line because I don't know what they sort of go for now, but sort of 10 years ago, it was still relatively affordable to pick a lot of this stuff up. And there's something about the design of the merchandise packaging. I was like, wouldn't it be awesome to have a wall with, the Batmobile? I can't remember what the vehicle was for Joker, but I know he had a vehicle.
He had a motorcycle.
Yeah. And the Batwing, and then a couple of the carded figures, and have this nice, all this sort of gold packaging, which again is something I remember from the summer of '89, that big phenomenon. So
I'm actually wrong. The motorcycle came in the Kenner Dark Knight line. The Joker van was in the Toy Biz line.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. This was my first Batmobile, and I loved it. It was smashed by a vacuum. But I remember as a kid, my biggest disappointment was no canopy, nothing to cover the driver's seat, right? But it was cool that there was 2 seats, like the movie. Now, a few years later, when Kenner was doing the Dark Knight line, it had the canopy, but there was only one seat.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like pick your poison. And then, of course, it came with this really flimsy cocoon when Batman would say shields into his key fob.
The first one didn't. So the one I had was the first release. It didn't have this. And it's like I saw this later, like in my 20s, and I'm like, whoa, where was that when I was a kid?
Yeah, you know what? I don't remember having this either, so I must have had the first release too.
So you're telling me that 8-year-old Laserpants, 1989, was critical of the fact that it didn't have an enclosed canopy. Have you not been reading the comments on YouTube where you should just be grateful for whatever you get? And what the hell, man? Have you been at this shit since you were 8 years old?
I've been a toxic man baby since at least 8 years old. Yes.
Yes.
I used to bash Toy Biz.
Your dad smashed that Batmobile with a vacuum.
Well, I left
the toxic man baby.
it was my chore at that time to vacuum, right? And I left the vacuum in the hallway, and so he comes down the stairs, turns the corner, and smashes his toe on the vacuum. And he's real mad. He picks up the vacuum, busts in my room, and throws it, and it lands on that Batmobile. And that Batmobile didn't have a chance. If only I had the cocoon on it.
If only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I bet if there was a
summer of
canopy,
'89.
I bet if there was a canopy, it would have stopped that vacuum.
That probably happened in like the early 90s, but yeah. And then the 3 figures. These were the only 3 figures from the movie that they released. Toy Biz did go on to do other DC heroes in the line. They did Superman, and they did Penguin, Wonder Woman,
Green Lantern, Flash, Mr. Freeze.
And I think Flash is the only thing from that line that I never got. But everything else, the closest to being complete in a line as a kid ever, because I was never going to be complete with Kenner Star Wars or Superpowers for that. You know, I mean, those were pretty extensive lines. Superpowers, not so much, but Star Wars, what kid had everything?
Yeah.
So you had the Joker. Of course, none of these look anything like the actors. I don't think Toy Biz had any actors' likeness rights. Maybe Bob the Goon, but even that doesn't really look too much like him. I mean, these are really simple toys.
I mean, Keaton, the Keaton head is the second head. He originally came with a square jaw that was very much more like the Superpowers head, and it was quickly changed to the Keaton head. I had the Keaton head. This one's a Keaton head. So I think, they probably, got some rights and were able to fix things later on. Oh yeah, see, here you go.
So there it is. So I think this was the first one, the one that was more rounded at the top.
Okay.
And then you're saying this is the Keaton head. That one came later with the ears.
No, the
straight up.
Keaton head is lower right.
This one.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know that's the one that I had.
Okay.
I don't remember ever having this one, but I remember seeing this one in the store and thinking, oh, they changed it a little bit. And I kind of wanted it, but it was either get another figure that I kind of already had or get something new. But let me get to this super chat here. Brian Dillingham, thank you. He said, sorry, I missed Bobby's live stream earlier. Any way to still donate?
I've had a couple people message me about that. I'm going to try to figure out a way to get that done. So shoot me a message and I'll see what we can do.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you very much. Did you have the Joker? Do you remember that the gimmick with the it squirted water out of his flower? I thought that was great.
Yeah.
And then Bob the Goon, he kind of had that old superpower style. Yeah, the kick.
He's like the world's all-time greatest peg warmer.
Yes, he was.
There've been some peg warmers. Like Rose Tico got nothing on Bob the Goon as a peg warmer, man.
Which is crazy. He came with a removable hat, a pistol, and a knife. Like, it was a stacked figure.
But if you're a kid and you're in the toy aisle and your parents are probably going to let you get one toy, are you going to pick Bob the Goon or Batman or the Joker?
Yeah. I mean, I had all three.
Yeah,
I don't remember
too.
In what order, but I had Bob. Yeah.
I could see a lot of kids. I don't want the action figure with male pattern baldness. With a mullet as well.
Yeah.
He had like the party in the back, skullet on the top. Batmobile with the pop-out missiles. Love that. That was awesome. And there was room for junk in the trunk.
It had a trunk, but no canopy. Mind-blowing.
Yeah. And there's the cocoon that I never had.
Man, that must be hard to get hold of today. That looks fragile as hell, that cocoon.
So when I was at Joe Fest this past year, a guy had one, and I got to feel it for the first time. It's as thin as paper. It's really, really thin.
It's almost like cellophane. It's like you could wad it up in a ball, no problem. I think this is from a toy catalog, but I remember seeing this image as a kid and seeing that Batcave, and I was instantly in love. Of course, I thought I would never have it. And there's the Robin. So there was, I don't know if Robin was part of the first wave.
I think he was.
Was he? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because originally Batman 89 was supposed to have Robin, but they pulled him out of the script for whatever reason. And they did the same with Batman Returns. It was supposed to be Marlon Wayans in Batman Returns, I think. And Ertl. I don't think Ertl is a company that's around anymore. Were they bought up by Hasbro?
I think they were probably bought up by like Tonka or one of those companies.
Yeah, would make more sense if Tonka bought them.
And then Tonka, of course.
Vehicles, but
Tonka was bought up by Hasbro, right? Because was it Kenner? Kenner the parent company of Tonka, or Tonka over Kenner? And then Hasbro bought them.
Well, I know that.
One of those.
I think Tonka purchased Palitoy at some point.
Yeah, they did.
Because it wasn't Kenner or Hasbro that purchased Palitoy. It was actually Tonka, and then that's how they got it through Hasbro.
Yeah. I was not really into Micro Machines or Hot Wheels as a kid, but I did have this set. Mm-hmm. Like, if it was a Batman toy, I had to have it.
Oh, damn, man. Timothy Ward, my ever faithful moderator, my chief moderator, saying Ertl still exists. Wow.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Well, all right.
I didn't know that. Thanks, Tim.
I wonder what they're making, because I don't really see their logo in the toy aisle. And there is the Joker cycle, and that is Toy Biz.
He did. Okay.
With the sidecar thing. The sidecar just kind of shot like a rocket. I don't think I had this one. I had the Kenner version where the face shot off the front. The Joker face.
That looks like the Piranha from Mask.
It very well could be. Yes, it does.
And that shoots off the side. But that's scaled for a different scale of figure.
That's weird. Huh.
Yeah. How about that?
I'm going to have to look into this now.
Yeah. Hey, we got a new Analog Toys video coming to you. Was the Joker cycle a reuse of the Kenner? What was it?
It was the RoboCop.
Piranha.
Oh, you're talking. Oh, yeah. Because I was going to say the Kenner Joker cycle was a reuse of the RoboCop cycle. Mm-hmm. The new Joker face. Kenner loves reusing stuff.
They did. Yeah, they used Silverhawk stuff in their Batman line. That Blade Wing, I forget what they called it in the Batman line.
Yep.
Close up of the Joker. He came with a cane and his hat, but I don't think he came with a gun. Just Bob the Goon.
He didn't. And there's a variant on this figure.
What's the variant?
He's got a squiggle of hair that comes down over his forehead. That's the rarer version.
Okay. Looks like nothing.
Superman. He's got the Superman quiff.
Oh, yeah, the spit curl, yeah.
Yeah.
And there it is. In my opinion, the best playset from the 1980s.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
I will admit to being biased. I will admit to being biased because this was the only playset that I had as a kid. It's the only vintage toy that I own, really. I reacquired this maybe a year and a half ago. I got it for $40.
That's going to change soon, man, because I've got a really nice vintage toy heading your way. It's currently in Los Angeles. It's going to turn up early this week, but you can't open it until the next 3 POA. Unless we want to do a little unboxing thing next weekend or something. I don't know.
We might have to. You can't tell me to sit on a package.
Yeah. I love this thing. The Bat computer there, it would scroll and it had different images from the movie on it.
Yeah.
They called this the Bottomless Pit. And this was either a pull-up bar or there was a winch and you could lower a villain into the bottomless pit. I think I got an image of the back. So down here in this corner, I know it's small, but that door there, that's to remove a villain from the bottomless pit, which I'm not sure how you do if it's bottomless.
Well, but look, if it's named the Bottomless Pit, that must be where Bruce Wayne keeps his toy collection.
Yes. And there's that winch system. This boulder up here actually came off. You could like knock it off, like while you're playing and knock it onto a villain or something. Which why would a villain be?
Where's the boulder?
Up here. So you see like this pipe that is also a handle.
Yeah.
The boulder is right there. It was like a blow molded, just soft.
Yeah, that what you're seeing is like a Paintmaster model, which a lot of things changed on the actual one.
Yeah.
And it's funny that there's just repainted superpower figures on these. Even on the back of the Batman figure is a repainted superpowers Batman. It's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, these chairs, well, the back computer is almost totally different from the production. And then the chairs were actually two pieces. This bottom part is a separate gray piece that plugged onto it. And then, of course, the Batwing. Probably Kenner did a Batwing too, where the wings would pop off and wheels would fold out, and it could be like a car.
That was the Turbo Jet Batwing.
The Turbo Jet Batwing, yes. This one though had that claw in between the bat ears there. That
he stole my balloons.
But it would sweep down, and you could grab a figure with it. And
underneath it had like a gun handle. Yeah, there we go.
There it is. Yeah, with the trigger. So the handle had a trigger. You pull the trigger, and it would grab. You could grab a figure. And then these two things here, these two little nubs on the back, you pull those back like you're cocking it, and then you'd fire the missiles out of the front. Which, let me go back to this one. The missiles would fire out the front right here to the left and right of the cockpit. And an enclosed cockpit, which something about that as a kid was like the coolest thing. I always wanted like the enclosed cockpit. Of course, mine had these two fins on the top. Those got broken off pretty easy. But it was the coolest toy, man. And I think I'm all out of pictures. I guess I went through them all. So a few years later, Kenner acquired the license, and Toy Biz at that point was doing Marvel characters. And I didn't pull up any pictures of the Kenner stuff, but that was around Batman Returns era. And that line went for years, and it was extensive. Who remembers when they first showed that gold Batman? I remember watching Saturday morning cartoons, and that Kenner Batman, the Dark Knight collection came on, that commercial. And I saw that gold Batman for the first time, and they had him on that motorcycle that was also a reuse from the RoboCop line.
Yep.
It was like a gold Batman. Mind blown.
Yeah. They did, man. That
in a good way or a bad way?
Good way. I loved it.
I was probably amazing stuff.
Yeah. I was probably 9 or 10 at the time, I want to say, when that line. That was like 91. What was that, Tony?
It's understandable if you were that age. Like I never saw that commercial. I was not at that age. I was, probably bunking off school to smoke weed or something. At that age, I would have been 15 or something. Yeah. But you've just given me an idea. I reckon Gracie might want an all gold desert rat.
Portal 2099 brings up a good point. Kenner hated putting knees on figures. That even as a kid, that was a sticking point for me. Like, there's no knees. Like Toy Biz, the Joker, Batman, they had knees. They could you could put them in a sitting position, but Kenner, the knees were gone. Which
is crazy because when Kenner had superpowers, they had knees. Then all of a sudden, it's like you move to Batman, even the Robin Hood line, RoboCop line. None of them had knees.
Yeah, maybe a cost-saving measure or something. Yeah. Because Kenner was probably in a lot of trouble at that point. It was post-Star Wars, and they ended up getting bought by Hasbro.
Should we give away a Cobra Trooper?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
A G.I. classified Cobra Trooper. So I am going to pop the number in the private chat here so Ryan can see what the number is.
Okay. Now, is that the Cobra Island or?
No. This is the normal retail release.
Cool.
I will say this is not sealed. I have opened this, but all I've done is taken some photos and put it back. So, but everyone loves a good army builder. I've got some spare. So, again, I'll ship this anywhere in the world. So, when Ryan types in the chat start, a number between 1 and 87. So, I've already put my number in the private chat there, Ryan, whenever you're ready.
I saw it, and I'm putting start in the chat.
All right, let's see.
Here we go. It's great that it's an army builder, too, because even if someone has a few of them, one more is not going to hurt.
Ooh, wow.
That just exploded. Someone was very close. Oh, it's going fast. Wow. Oh, man. It's jumping all over. You guys are watching, too, right? Because this is moving fast.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Wow.
Close.
Yeah, someone at the beginning was just almost there. Wow. It's going so fast.
We might have to figure out a different way next time to do this.
Yeah.
Maybe a shorter range of numbers.
Yeah, that would probably be good. Oh man, I hope this is not.
No.
There it is. I see it. Who did you see? Ted Millick.
Congratulations, Ted. Well done, man. Flick me an email, or doesn't have to be an email. You can message me on the Analog Toys Facebook page or Instagram, whatever. But the email address is in the description below. Ted, send me your postal address, and you got a nice Cobra infantry heading your way. Awesome.
The number was 60, by the way. So
yeah.
Yeah. Congrats, Ted. That's awesome.
Man, that was exciting. That was like,
yeah, it blew up way faster than the first time we did it.
Yeah.
So it was Batman 89 bigger for you than Indiana Jones in The Last Crusade, which came out that same summer?
Yeah. I didn't see Last Crusade in the cinema. I would have seen that on home video release, probably in 1990. I don't think it would have come out on video until maybe late 89. Yeah.
I think Last Crusade, that was the first Indiana Jones movie I saw, and it was in the theater. Yeah. And then, later on, went back and watched the first two.
Yeah, so that was the second highest grossing film of 1989. Mm-hmm. The third highest grossing film was Lethal Weapon 2, which I've heard a lot of people say is superior to the original. I disagree. The original Lethal Weapon is streets ahead of all the others. Unfortunately, as much as I love Joe Pesci in the gangster films, I hate that character of Leo Getz. And then it was like a new character got added in each subsequent sequel. We've got Joe Pesci's Leo Getz, then we have Chris Rock, then we have Rene Russo, and characters aren't dropping. That first one where he is literally, Martin Riggs is a suicidal maniac cop with a death wish. And then you've got this. It's crazy to think that. What's his name? Danny Glover. That Danny Glover was in that film talking about, I'm too old for this shit. And the guy was younger than me at the time.
Daniel Dorian brings up a good point. Last Crusade had some great merchandise back in 89. It had a cup.
Yeah. And a book. And a book.
There you go. I think I had like a read-along tape where you'd get the book with the tape of The Last Crusade.
So you didn't have to read.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but that's why I think even though Last Crusade was a big movie, And most Indiana Jones fans are really fond of it, right? The merchandise just wasn't there. The toy line, they didn't bring the toy line back for Last Crusade.
Well, the first Kenner line, 3 3/4, which is a stunning toy line, didn't sell well. Mm-hmm. I've said for many years that something like Indiana Jones, they really needed to, and I know they did make some role play stuff, but that's more like Halloween costume. But remember when the real Ghostbusters come out, the action figure line was just as popular as all the role play toys.
Yeah.
So you had the blow molded proton pack, which came with a neutrona wand, HasLab. You get the ghost trap and all that stuff. That the role play toys were just as popular as the action figures. I think a property like Indiana Jones, it really needed to be, a toy whip, a hat, a map bag, a gun and pistol. That would have done well. But it, as beautiful as a toy line as it is, it didn't do well.
The Holy Grail.
Yeah. In the Temple of Doom line, it got changed from Kenner to LJN. They're not bad. I've got the LJN Indy right here. They only did 3 figures. They did him, Mola Rum, and the Giant Thuggy. There were prototypes made of Willie Scott, Short Round. There was going to be a minecart chase playset. But again, that didn't sell well. I think simply because there was only 3 figures and nothing else. So by the time Last Crusade came around, they weren't interested. There are 2 sort of commercial disasters. And even there's nothing wrong with the toys. They just didn't sell.
I think Indiana Jones was just a slightly different age range.
Yeah, I think that too, yeah.
Star Wars skewed a wider audience, kid to adult. Indiana Jones was almost like middle school and up. So like just as kids are getting out of toys, I think that was what that movie was geared toward. I could be wrong, but that's usually when you see a toy line do poorly, that's usually why, is because, either marketing or, just your target audience was incorrect.
Do you remember what Box Office Flop, which is now kind of a cult classic, opened up against Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade? Same week?
No.
UHF starring Weird Al Yankovic.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. How about that, Indy came out Thursday. Indy came out in May, and Batman came out in June, I think.
Mm-hmm. That sounds right.
Man, if that had been the other way around, I think Indy might have really struggled.
Yeah.
I think Indy was lucky to not go up against Batman for the first month or whatever it was. So,
John Putnam, Scuba Pete, they got it. Yeah, UHF. Conan the Librarian is better than Conan the Destroyer. Just want to put that. Uh-oh. Calm down, Bobby.
Like,
1989 also brought us Ghostbusters 2, but when it comes to toys, man, they're one of the biggest missed opportunities in the history of cinema. The movie that didn't get a toy line and should have done was in 1989, and I'm not talking about Last Crusade. It was Rain Man. That needed a toy line.
Yeah, definitely toy line. Yeah. So we're getting to about the end of the show here. Any final thoughts on the summer of '89? And I hope everyone caught that thumbnail, that little thing I put in the corner.
The summer of '89, yeah.
Bryan Adams, the cover of his album.
Actually, earlier on in the chat, there was someone who rewrote the lyrics to that, talking about Christmas present, to the theme of that song. It was. I wish I could remember who it was. It was all. I'll have to go back and watch the chat again. It was awesome. But yeah, the summer of '89, a phenomenon that I have seen since. I remember the Phantom Menace being quite sort of similar with all the merch and everything like that. But will we see another phenomenon like that again today? I don't think so.
I think pop culture is so scattered now and so kind of watered down almost. I if I had to compare it to something modern, maybe Avengers, but I still don't think Avengers was even close to what Batman '89 was.
Yeah,
not from like a marketing merchandising standpoint. That's not how they sell films now. They go on social media to sell films.
Yeah.
When a trailer drops for a new movie, you see it on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, MSN Messenger.
Yeah.
It's not
AOL.
Yeah. Back in my day, it was on magazine covers, and that's how you learnt about things like the upcoming release of Batman by seeing the merchandise in stores. Because you might not catch that one episode of Entertainment Tonight that shows the trailer, and you knew something big was coming when you've got this gold and black Batman logo on everything.
Yeah.
And then all your friends at school start talking about it, and
you're playing Batman on the playground. And in those days, modern movies, you got like your big opening weekend, and then it quickly dies off, right?
Yeah.
In '89, movies would run for months.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They would be like Batman '89 was in the theaters all summer, probably into the fall. You could go see Batman '89 over and over again for months. It's not really like that anymore. I mean, nowadays, it goes to Blu-ray now in 2 to 3 months, or streaming.
Remember how long it would take for a movie to show up on VHS? It's like the movie ran for months in the theater, but then it was like a year. So you waited forever. And I think, like, if I can like go back or change things, I would like to be slightly older when '89 Batman came out, because I want to like feel the anticipation a bit more, because it's like there was no social media, there's no hey, let's analyze this trailer and find all the Easter eggs. It was just, whoa, I saw it once, holy crap, how can I see it again? There's no way to like really replay it. You either have to go see a movie, or thanks Lily, or
trading cards.
Or it's like, catch it on like a show or something like that. And it was like, holy crap, and you hung on every image of watching that trailer because there was no way to really like see it again instantly.
Yeah. And summer of 1990, that must have been the summer when the VHS came out, because I remember my parents buying that. And I swear that summer I watched that movie every day. I didn't fast forward through the Bugs Bunny ad in the beginning or nothing. I watched it all, man. And it probably was the only movie I'd sit through the credits to hear the score. The
VHS didn't even say Batman on it. It just had the gold logo.
Yep.
It was so iconic. It was just like, here you go. You're welcome.
Well, there's that other big thing about that film that people talk about is the fact that top billing on the posters and the credits was not Batman.
Yeah.
It was Jack Nicholson.
He had that written into his contract that was the only way.
Did he not take a percentage of the merchandise instead of?
In fact, it was
a mix of the both.
If my source is correct, it was 10%. So when I looked it up,
I believe he still holds the record today for the actor who's the highest paid actor for a single role, because he made like $130 million off that film.
That's crazy.
Yeah, $50 million from merchandise, because he got a cut of that too.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
$50 million in '89.
I don't know where I pulled 130 from. I was spitballing. That was a wild guess, but yeah, he made a crap ton of money, and he's probably still making money off that today.
Sure. I mean, look, speaking of like staying power, Beast Kingdom, a toy company, they just solicited their 89 Batman and Joker. And it's the first Joker we've seen since Hot Toys. In fact, I think Hot Toys is the only one to ever put his likeness on an action figure, officially. So, yeah, that guy's still making money today. But yeah, what I read was $50 million. And that was a cut of the profits from the movie. Yeah. And the movie made $253 million. So he got a really nice cut, man. And we didn't talk about his Joker too much, but I still think that Joker holds up. I'm sure Bobby disagrees. He took, I think, the Cesar Romero style Joker, and he matured it a little bit, right? He was still, he had that laugh, and he was a real psycho in that movie. I mean, some of the way, like the way he killed that guy with the electric hand buzzer, and they just showed him fry until he was like crispy, Yeah. And the way he was gleefully shooting Grissom in the office there with the gun, and the music was playing. He was like shooting him behind the back and under his leg, and just the way there's a phrase, he really chewed the scenery in that movie.
Yeah.
Like it looked like he had a lot of fun playing Joker.
But remember, Mama and Papa Laserpants thought it was okay for 8-year-old Laserpants to go and watch a guy get fried with a handshake. So
yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. They definitely wanted to see that again, man.
I don't want to go off the rails too much, but they wouldn't let me watch King Kong Lives, the sequel to the 76 King Kong.
Yeah.
And I saw that later on, maybe I was in my early 20s. I finally watched it. I'm like, I got to see this stupid movie. That movie was like tame and corny. I don't know.
Exactly. And they didn't want to take you to see it. So they just said, no, it's not acceptable. We're not watching that again.
That has got to be it. We do have a super chat from James Salzberg. Thank you very much. He said, I want to see that movie now. I need to go watch that other movie again. I assume you're talking about 89 Batman, but what's the other movie? I don't know.
UHF.
I think he left that comment a while ago. We might have missed it. Might have been talking about Lethal Weapon or whatever. I don't know. But thank you for the super chat, man.
Thank you, James. I'm going to scroll down and see if he answers me. Timothy Ward says the Laserpants family throws vacuums and takes children to violent films. Yeah.
I'm just thinking. Imagine how badly you would have been beaten if, when your dad threw that vacuum in, that it hit the Turtles party wagon instead of the Batmobile, because you would have broken the vacuum instead.
Yeah.
And then Ryan's getting a spanking.
James, thank you again for another super chat. He says movie trailer. Oh yes, I think he's talking the Bugs Bunny or the movie trailer from Entertainment Tonight, or
yeah.
It's cool to go back and watch old trailers and see how different they were done.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, definitely.
Okay, well, I think we've kind of covered it all. We could probably do a sequel to this episode. There's a lot we didn't touch on, but
I wouldn't mind going into like Kenner Dark Knight and then trailing that into Batman Returns. That was right on the heels. Like, Inner Dark Knight came out, but then Batman Returns was right there.
And I want to say the animated series came out between the two. Was it 91?
I think you're right. I think it was in between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Batman Returns was 92, and that movie gets a lot of flack, but I think I still really like Batman Returns.
It's got Christopher Walken in it. Of course it's great.
Yeah, how could you dislike that? Another super chat. John Papa Sergio, thank you, man. He says, I saw Predator in theaters. I was 8. Loved it ever since. Do I win? Yeah.
Speaking of winning, well, we're going to wrap it up, but we got one more giveaway. So this is a really nice condition mint 1989 vintage Ertl Batmobile from the movie. Oh, it's perfect prize to give away. So I have already put my number in the private chat.
Now, do we want to narrow the field of numbers?
For those guys who have thrown up numbers, it doesn't count until Ryan types start in the chat.
That's right.
No, I think we keep the number the same. Just all three of us have got to stay glued to that chat because it goes real quick. So.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to put start in the chat. When you guys see that, you can go ahead and start entering numbers. Not yet. Walter Van Winkle, that does not count. Any number between 1 and 87, and you win that Ertl Batmobile. I'm putting start in the chat.
Here we go.
Here we go. It'll take a second for them to catch up. Oh, there it is. 43-28. Oh, my God.
Done.
Oh, there it is. Sal Vader.
I'm going to scroll back up here. Who was it?
Sal. 2 Cent Toys.
No.
John Putnam.
John Putnam.
On my screen, Sal is first.
On my screen is John Putnam.
Are you on YouTube or?
YouTube. I'm on YouTube.
Okay, we've got to go off YouTube.
Let's see what the chat says. Who oh boy. Sal says John can take it. There we go. Thank you, Sal.
You're awesome, man. And I also want to do a shout out to Ted Milich, who won the Cobra Infantry. He said right before the start, look at that, I'll bow out because he's already won a prize. That's very, very gentlemanly of you, Ted and Sal. So, John Putnam, congratulations. Contact me either Facebook, Instagram, or an email that's in the description, and I will organise getting all three of these prizes shipped out to you guys later this week. I'll be shipping them on Wednesday to be specific. So yeah, Wednesday is my post office trip day. So
okay, well, I think that'll do it for the show. Bobby, where can everyone find you?
Could find me everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Just look up Valaverse, and it'll take you there. New content's being added on the YouTube channel, so check that out. Action Force is arriving at the headquarters this week, so orders will be going out shortly after that. So really exciting.
So excited for that. Tony, besides this YouTube channel, Analog Toys, where can everyone keep up with you?
So Instagram and Facebook, pretty much, but the main portal is here on YouTube. I can tell you that Bobby does have a couple more awesome videos coming up very soon because Salvador filmed them and I edited them for him. So
yeah, Sal is my cameraman. Tony is my editor. I couldn't do it without these two guys.
It's a good thing we got going on here. So
I like it.
You keep doing that, man. You just throw me footage and I'll.
I'm going to be sending you one probably tomorrow or Monday.
No problem at all, man. No problem at all. Looking forward to it. So, but yeah, and you can see me literally every other week here on the 3POA. But if these gentlemen are really impatient, we may have to do something of an unboxing next week because they're getting. Both of these gentlemen are getting Christmas gifts from me. So, and I've been watching the tracking. So, keep an eye out for that.
Just to back up a little bit, everyone needs to follow Analog Toys on Instagram. It's analog_toys. You do not have nearly enough followers. I mean, you got 37,000 subs here on YouTube.
35,000. I did kind of join Instagram really, really late, and I wish I could actually go in and change the name because I wanted my Instagram to actually be a Desert Rat thing.
You can change it. I changed mine a few years ago.
I tried and it wouldn't let me. Anyway, but yeah, Instagram is really you'll see. I post a lot of like Desert Rat related pictures there. I actually posted a picture today, like after the stream with Noah. Someone had made a comment about Sergeant Slaughter's chin being America's chin, and I got off the stream and I was like, man, I've got this photograph of me just standing in the middle of nowhere in Iraq. I remember this photo, and I've got this chin sticking out. And I was like, it can be America's chin and Britain's chin.
There we go.
Then I also put up a photo of Desert Rat sitting on the back of a truck with a saw, and photoshopped into that a photograph of the new Valaverse Action Force Weapons Pack Bravo saw, saying to people, you know, you're going to want to accessorize Series 2 Desert Rat with this weapon. So, and there's already been, I think, 2 people comment on that, Bobby, going, I hadn't ordered Weapons Pack Bravo. I'm going to go and order it now. So
Nice.
That was the plan. But yeah, Drew G, thank you very much. Yeah, of course, Patreon. Guys, there's tons. I've done 2 Patreon exclusive live streams in the last week where I just hang out with you guys. They're not monetized. There's no super chats. I just kind of answer everyone's questions. You get lots of message updates, behind the scenes photos. And it's not like from when you join Patreon, you start getting the content as I put it out. From the minute you join, you've got a 2-year back catalog to go through. So,
and it's a lot. I have joined other Patreons before that you sign up and then they forget about you and they post rarely, if ever. And that is not the Analog Toys Patreon. Like, I'm getting content from you almost every day.
Yeah, so, I can't forget about the patrons, man, because they're the people who keep this channel alive. Yep. So, yeah.
And then,
big respect to the patrons.
Absolutely. And then you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at LaserPants81 and keep up with this show. I post show updates, thumbnails, all that stuff on Instagram, 3POA_podcast. So I am LaserPants.
I am an Analog Toys. No, I'm Desert Rat. What the fuck?
And down below we got
my boss.
I am Valaverse.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you December 18th, 2 weeks from today, right here on Analog Toys. Later.
Later.